Go.
What it is, bro?
How are you feeling?
Uh, I'm, I'm hanging in there.
Okay, okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, we want to welcome everybody to Conversations. We got the legendary Rahiem from Furious 5 holding it down. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what can you say? Rahiem in your life, what more can you ask?
Thanks, bro. Appreciate you.
No doubt. Real quick before we get started, I want to give a shout out to Best Artist Management, holding it down every day, all day, good looking. Thank you so much. All right, let's go ahead and jump into this. Tell me about
Big Chuck.
your youth growing, huh?
Oh, nah. I just saw one of my bros in the chat.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's what's up.
yeah. My bad.
So, so where I want to start is tell me about your youth growing up. You know, growing up in New York and the musical environment and the things that influenced you into music.
Um, well, as far as who influenced me, or the things that influenced me. Okay, so my mom, she was my first influence. She sung like every day all around the house, like whatever she was doing, she'd be singing, and she exposed me to all of the legendary artists that preceded rap music. Gladys Knight and the Pips, Temptations, Smokey Robinson, Aretha Franklin, and James Brown was like my first musical idol. Um,
Mm,
my mom told me, as a matter of fact, my mom told me when I was 3 years old. She said she used to play this record uh, called Sunny, and it was by the legendary Nancy Wilson. Uh, Rest in peace. And she she would play this song, and I learned the words to it, and I loved the song Sunny so much at 3 years old. I couldn't even read yet, but I knew what the record looked like. She had it on a 45, and she would hide it from me because I would get on her nerves because I'd make her play it over and over again. And she'd hide it from me in a stack of 45s that was taller than me. And I'd go in that stack of 45s and find Sonny and make her play it some more. So, yeah, so that was my first, my mom was my first musical influence. Then, when we would have house parties, she would like play the music usually, and when she got tired of playing the music, she would throw on James Brown's music, and I would dance. I would do James Brown's dances, and then she'd throw on Marvin Gaye, and then I sing Marvin Gaye's songs and like entertain the company at the party or whatever. And then after that, maybe like in the like around 1976, um, the housing development that I grew up in the Bronx, Lambert houses. Yes, I am telling my age, Miss Knight. Mwah. So yeah, I grew up in the Bronx in the 70s, and so when uh, like there would be block parties and stuff, and
okay.
so there was an R&B group that would do these parties, that would always perform at these block parties whenever we would in the summertime around my block. Like it was a basketball tournament called TIP, Tremont Improvement Program. And that's what TIP stood for. And they had a basketball tournament, and this legendary R&B group, first called the Rhythm Makers, but later changed their names to GQ, who made that
Mm,
joint, Disco Nights, and Sitting in the Park, all them joints.
yeah.
So my homie, the lead singer Rahiem LeBlanc, he he plays guitar, and he's the lead singer of GQ, and I was a little shorty, and I'd be like in the front, and they had it roped off, and I'd be like right there, like practically in Raheem's mouth, and I'd be singing all the songs with him because I learned the words. And then he was like one day, like, yo, you could sing. You you want to take some music lessons? I'm like, yeah. So I started hanging out with Rahiem LeBlanc, and he was like my first musical mentor. Besides my music teacher, Mr. Mapu, Barry Mapu, who instructed me how to play tenor saxophone. I played tenor saxophone in the band in my junior high school.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and then after that, maybe around maybe around 1977, 70. Matter of fact, 78 was when I started uh, going to like rap, you hip hop parties.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no real, like, no sure enough rapping going on at the time.
Right.
When I was at these parties, they would say little, you know, little stuff on the mic, but like, one, two lines, and there were no long form rhymes. Like nobody was spitting 16s or nothing like that. And then my first year in high school, Truman High School, up in Co-op City in the Bronx, I met these two dudes, Theron Johnson and Derek Showard. Derek Showard is a DJ. He called himself DST, who actually wound up being the legendary DXT that did the cuts on Herbie Hancock's song "Rocket."
Oh,
Yeah, so
okay.
that's my bro right there. We grew up together. We went to high school together, and so D wanted me to be in his group because he knew that I had started rapping or whatever. And so Theron, who later changed his name to Shaheem because my name was Rahiem, and I kind of like influenced him. He wasn't really like really rhyming, sure enough, until he met me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he introduced me to a dude named Lasaka, and Lasaka was the younger brother of DJ Barron, who was the partner of DJ Breakout, and so he told me that they needed an MC. So he said that they were like auditioning for, auditioning MCs. So I go to this community center, Bronx, in the North Bronx, called Boston Secor Community Center, and they were having a battle. DJ Breakout, DJ Barron, and the Funky Four MCs.
Mm-hmm.
There was They were called the Funky Four MCs, but one out of the Funky Four MCs wasn't really an MC. So, but nonetheless, they called themselves the Funky Four MCs. So when I got there, um, DJ Barron, he wasn't the one on the turntables.
Mm-hmm.
He had stepped out for a moment, and DJ Breakout was on the turntables. But I was auditioning to be DJ Barron's MC because, from my understanding, what Theron had told me, he said that the other MCs only got on the mic when Breakout would cut. And so I found that really strange because Breakout at the time he didn't cut on beat. Like
Right.
after I joined the group, I actually taught Breakout how to cut on beat. And I'm not a DJ. All right. So, but he got it, and eventually, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But Barron was the one that I would rhyme after, rhyme behind when he was on the turntables. So I'm at this battle, Boston Secor Houses Community Center, and the joint is jam packed, and we're battling against another crew called the Little Brothers from Co-op City, and they didn't really have MCs. Like they just had like MC groups were not yet the thing. It was not a thing
Okay.
yet. There were no MC groups that I knew of besides the three MCs: Melly Mel, Kid Creole, and Cowboy, and they were known
Mm.
Grandmaster Flash. Okay. So after DJ Barron finally gets to the turntables to start cutting, I introduced myself to him, and he's like, "You ready?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm ready." He's like, um, "So what record you want to run to?" So I was like, "Give me, you got the Barcades, let's have some fun." And he was like, "Yeah, I got it." So he went in the crates and got 2 copies of the Barcades, let's have some fun.
Have a little freeze here. Let's get it going. Let's get this cleared up here 1 second.
Yeah.
Okay, you just froze up for a second.
Okay.
All right, you should be good now.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So the so man, where was I?
You 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 was talking about he had the Barcades record. Freezing up again. I think your reception is a little.
My
Your
reception is a
reception
little
is in.
sketchy.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, you're good now. All right, you was talking about the Barcades record, which is funny because my uncle from Memphis, he used to drive the tour bus for the
Oh
Barcades back in the
wow.
day.
Wow. I'm sure if I saw him, we would probably recognize each other. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
they called him Rough House Henderson.
Rough Henderson. Wow. From Memphis.
Yeah, yeah.
That's definitely where they hailed from too. Um, yeah. So now now Baron is cutting. Now the other members of the Funky Four, they were not. Uh oh. Am I good?
Yeah, okay, you good now.
Okay. So the other members of the Funky Four, they weren't. They were in a room off to the side of the stage, out of the audience's view, and they were on the mic, but the audience couldn't see them. Um, and I think that they were kind of like shy to like be like center stage in front of the audience, so that's why they
Mhm.
were in this little room or whatever. So when
Okay.
Baron gave me the mic to get on to to audition to see if I was going to be down, he put me center stage. So center stage, the joint is packed, and I start doing my thing to the Barcades joint, and at first, people weren't completely paying attention yet.
Hmm.
I said, I'm hemp the dimp, the women's pimp, the women fight for my delight. And when I said those lines right there, and when I said these dreams, uh, uh,
Oh, we're breaking up.
man, we
It's
back?
all
We
right.
good?
You good now?
Yeah, it's the weather. The weather is like making it kind of
Oh, y'all got that bad weather today.
yeah, yeah,
Okay, we
yeah.
good.
So after I said those those rhymes, the audience was like going crazy. And after that show, um, they the Brothers Disco as an organization got together and was like, "Yo, you you down, you passed, you one of the new members of the Funky Four." And so the brother who was one of the Funky Four who actually didn't really rhyme came up to me and was like, "Yo, I don't really rhyme. You can have my spot. We good." And he actually did security after that. His name is Richard T. He's
Mm.
my brother. Yep. Yeah.
Mm. So that's what got you going. So clearly you have a very deep musical background that a lot of people just probably don't even know or even appreciate your musical knowledge.
Yeah, like I said, in junior high school, my first instrument was the tenor saxophone. When I got to high school, um, one day I'm walking through the hallway. Oh, so I was in a singing group in high school in Harry S. Truman, and me and another legendary person that I'm sure everyone viewing us right now knows. His name is Christopher Williams. We were in a singing group in Harry S. Truman High School together, and we would
Wow.
sing in the hallways in Truman High School and captivate. We had all the chicks following us everywhere, all around the school, like the Pied Piper, and and initially, Chris would mimic me, and I'm like, bro,
Uh-huh.
you shouldn't mimic me because I'm trying to go exactly where you're trying to go. We trying to get to the same destination. So we shouldn't step on each other's toes and try to mimic each other. I said, you should really consider mimicking someone who used to be hot, but that's not hot anymore. I said, you know who would be perfect? I said, nobody would see this coming from you. I said, if you mimic Teddy Pendergrass, all right,
Mm.
nobody would expect a Teddy Pendergrass kind of voice coming out your light skinned pretty ass. And so
Right.
that's basically what happened. He took my advice and he home run. You know what I mean? Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now at what point did you decide you want to take the music serious?
Well, I always took the music serious because, that was the purpose of me being in like all of these singing groups when I was growing up. Even before I got in high school, in junior high school, when I moved in my housing development, Lambert Houses in the Bronx, um, I would join. We had singing groups from the block that would participate in and compete in talent shows, and so you know, I was always involved musically
Mm.
somehow with usually with groups, but I always found that the majority of the times prior to meeting the Funky Four and prior to joining the Furious Five, that none of the groups were serious enough and had the resiliency to, be patient enough to wait it out and wait till we popped off and actually got signed. They didn't.
Right.
The groups prior to the Funky Four and the Furious Five, they didn't have that resolve in them. So it was it was like it wasn't a waste of time. It was, for lack of a better description, I would say it was more like boot camp. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was
Okay.
preparing
There's something that was just kind of getting you prepared.
exactly, exactly. Yeah. Love you too. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
So so you was just always basically just working your way, just paying your dues and working your way through the system
Facts.
to,
Facts.
till you got to where you really wanted to be. Now, once you start tapping into the industry, what was that like? That first record deal.
Well, the first record deal, that was funny. The first record deal was it was we were signed to a record label called Brass Records, and it might as you might as well they might as well have changed their name to Pookie and them records. Because they were really like I've never met anyone who was an executive of Brass Records with with the exception of the person who approached us. I guess, for lack of a better term, he must have been the A&R person. Maybe he actually owned the record label, but we would never know because we only saw him maybe 2 times, and then after we gave him the master to release the record, he released the record, but we ain't never see him again after that, and we never got a dime from the record. And the record is out. The record been out. It's called We Rap More Mellow, but it's not in our group's name. The name that they put as the artist on this particular song was the Younger Generation, and we had no idea that the record had even gotten released until one day I'm walking through a shopping area in the Bronx on this street called Fordham Road, and there was a record shop like almost on the corner of Fordham Road and Webster Avenue, and they would have their speakers outside of the store, and they would be blasting all of the newest music. So I'm walking, and they had our song on. They had We Rap More Mellow on, and so excitedly, I go into the record shop, and I had a couple of dollars on me. I had just gotten out of school, and I was on my way to meet the rest of the Furious Five to rehearse. I was on my way to Flash's house to meet them for rehearsal, and so I go into the record shop excited because I'm gonna buy a copy of my record. You know what I mean?
Buy your own record.
Right. I'm contributing to my own royalties as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean? So that's like money in the bank. You know what I mean? So I get on the line. It's a line in the record shop, so I have to wait until till everybody in the line gets served. I'm on the back of the line, so by the time I get to the counter, our song had stopped playing, and they put on another song. So I asked the dude behind the counter, I'm like, "Yo, can I get that record by Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five?" He's like, "What?" I'm like, "That record by Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. We Rap More Mellow." He was like, he goes and gets the record. He looks at it. He's like, "Yo, this ain't by no Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five." I said, "It is so." I said, "I'm on the record. What are you talking about?" He like, I'm about to get belligerent. So I said, "It is so." You know what I mean? That's my group.
Yeah, like that's my shit.
That's my shit. You know what I mean? Like, what you talking about? So he said, "Yo, calm down. Look." He shows me the record, and instead of it saying Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five as the artist, it said the Younger Generation as the artist. And the title was We Rap More Mellow. So I'm like, "Oh shit, damn, it don't even have our name on it." I put the money on the counter, bought the record, hurried up, went to rehearsal. So I showed the rest of the group the record. And when it didn't say our name on it, we decided to go pay a visit to the bootleg Terry Lewis, all right? Because his name was Terry Lewis, not to be confused with the great Terry Lewis from Money Jam and Terry Lewis. That's why I just called him the bootleg Terry Lewis.
Yeah.
The bootleg Terry Lewis lived in actually the same housing projects that my legendary brother, Cool DJ AJ, Curtis Blow's DJ, one of Curtis Blow's DJs, because Davey DMX was Curtis Blow's first DJ, and then Cool DJ AJ became Curtis Blow's second DJ. So Cool DJ AJ lived in more houses, and the bootleg Terry Lewis also lived there, and that was walking distance from Flash's place at the time. So we walked over there, and we get off the elevator on his floor, and we get up to his door, and when we get to his door, we noticed that the lock cylinder was missing. And
Mm.
we could actually look through the hole in the door because of the missing lock cylinder and see into the apartment. But then somebody made a mistake and leaned up against the door, and the door completely flung open.
Mm.
So the bootleg Terry Lewis had flown the coop, never to be seen again, and We Rap More Mellow was